Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? It is Wednesday, February 28th, 2018. Let me just say this. I want to apologize for being so upset in the last video that I did yesterday after I don't even know what you want to call it, circus act that is known as Congress and the new Federal Reserve Chair, Powell, kind of had a little sit down in a powwow, and it was just the most incredible show of ineptitude in the history of the world. I want to cover some more of that, but let's start off with this, because it's really just, well, it's the upside down world. Let me just clarify what I am speaking about. So we just found out just a few minutes ago, GDP data came in, not as good as expected. And what happened? Just before the stock market opened, futures were up nearly triple digits on this news. So think about it. We get a worse than expected GDP number and stocks want to move higher. Does that make sense to you? It shouldn't make sense to you. We are living in an upside down land. It's just too much. It really is. But again, this is a signal to the market that the Fed is going to keep the easy money going, is going to continue to suppress interest rates for as far as the eye can see. Let me go over a couple of other things that are super important. I want to clear up a few things. So I posted links all over the place yesterday on my social networks, and I did one or two in the videos that I did yesterday to the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. Some of you are having a hard time interpreting that data. Do not look at the month over month. I thought this was self-explanatory. You need to look at year over year, month to month. These fluctuate. Personally, look, maybe I'm out there, but I thought this was common sense. It's the year over year that you need to look at. And year over year, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet is exploding to the upside, continues to explode to the upside. And this is what got me so upset yesterday when, again, not one member of Congress took even a minute to go look at the Federal Reserve's balance sheet to say, okay, what's happening year over year? Are we really shrinking or are we getting larger? It would have took them a minute. It's the truth. But no one did that. Not one of our Congress people, it's embarrassing to even call them that, took a moment to do that. Instead, what did they do? They pandered. Let me say this too. We all know, well, we're being told that quantitative easing, that is the massive asset purchases, bond buying program by the Federal Reserve, you remember it was supposed to end in 2014? Well, here we are in 2018. Okay, let's see. So let's talk about that for a moment. So quantitative easing, that is the Federal Reserve getting into the bond market, buying up that bond market to keep interest rates suppressed, along with mortgage-backed securities and everything else. But they are targeting the bond market, suppressing those interest rates. So, and I've covered this a billion times, but people still just don't get it. So if quantitative easing really ended in 2014, we are now in 2018, how has the Federal Reserve been keeping interest rates suppressed? Let's see. Maybe they're still buying bonds? Exactly. That's exactly what they've been doing. Quantitative easing has never ended. Can't end. Because if the Fed were to allow the market to determine fair value for debt, where do you think interest rates would actually be? So there's another lie that not one of our inept Congress people decided to, say, hey, Mr. Powell, what is it with this whole QE? It's supposed to have ended in 2014. Meanwhile, your balance sheet continues to explode to the upside. Meanwhile, you're continuing to suppress interest rates, robbing savers, not allowing them to collect an actual rate of interest higher than the rate of inflation. No one even asks that, but these are our representatives that are supposed to be on our side. They are the biggest bunch of buffoons in the history of the world who do nothing but pander and do whatever and say what they gotta say to get reelected. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. period. All right? It's just insane. So let's just recap real quick. Right off the top here, right before the market open, we get some bad economic news again. GDP comes in less than expected. Oh, stock futures vault higher. Stocks open higher. I don't know what they're doing right now. I have no idea. But, okay, that's upside down. It's backwards. It shouldn't act like that. In a real market, if you get bad, in the past, let's say in a normal, real, non-managed market, if you were to get bad GDP data, stocks would normally react negatively, but not in this environment. Then we got, again, the lies before Congress about the Fed's balance sheet, because none of our lovely Congress people took a minute to go look at the year over year regarding the Federal Reserve's balance sheet. Is it really getting smaller? Oh no. Again, forget the month over month. These fluctuate. It's year over year that you got to look at. And then in this whole thing, 2014, QE ended. Really? I don't think so. Where's the evidence of that? There's so much going on, people, underneath all this that is so dark. The propping up, the distortions in this market that continue to get worse. You know that. All right, let's just see where this all goes today. Bond market was flat last time I looked at it. Dollar was also flat last time I looked at it. But again, we need to keep our eye on this today. If bonds decide to start selling off today, you can expect stocks to follow. If they decide to get in here and start propping up that bond market again, well, I guess stocks will follow higher. Anyway, let's see how all this plays out. By the way, before I let you go, like a minute or two prior to the market close, I bought puts on SPY. I didn't post it here because I did not post it on any of my social networks, which I usually do. I did it right before the close. Some of you could have gotten in on that with me. However, let's see how this plays out before any of us jump on the bandwagon and try to short the S&P 500. Again, I took up a tiny position. If it goes in the position I believe it will, I will add to it. If it goes against me, I close it with the small loss. You know how I operate. All right, with that said, we'll sum all this up at the end of the day. And I hope some of this, what I just said, makes sense to you. It's just too crazy in this upside down, backward land. See you at the end of the day.